Hey, my name is Cade Silva. I'm at my newest project I just put on the market here in Rancho Santa Fe for $1.7 million. And I'm going to take you through and show you 5 things that I focus on whenever I'm doing properties in high-end zip codes. All these items are very specific, and I have intention behind every single one to maximize every dollar I get out of the property once I finish. Come on inside and we'll start. Right from the beginning, you'll notice I use white oak engineered hardwood flooring. A lot of people in this price point would put LVP in, which is basically vinyl plank. This is real engineered hardwood, and it goes throughout the entire property except the bathrooms where I put tile because it's a nice contrast difference. We're walking into the kitchen, and I probably put my most focus on the entire house in the kitchen. First thing is I focus on the appliances. They always put a big focus on this, and here I use a 36-inch Bosch range instead of a 30-inch Samsung or LG. I used to use those on a lot of flips, and I started split testing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if I upgrade the appliance package, if it's a big selling point. So I started using the 36-inch on these higher end properties, and all the buyers that came through, I'd say, hey, what was your favorite part of the kitchen? It was always, hey, you use really good appliance package, and I appreciate that because I cook a lot, or it ties the kitchen all together. So instead of the $1,000 range, I spent $4,500 just on this one piece, and I also did the built-in microwave over in this corner. Instead of putting it above, it kind of just ties everything together, makes the kitchen look a lot more clean. The third thing I do are the countertops. I'm a big stickler for countertops. I put a lot of time into the countertops I choose on every single project. This one is Taj Mahal quartzite natural stone. It comes from the earth. It looks really clean, really pretty. I've always used this in this zip code specifically because for some reason in Rancho Santa Fe, everyone loves the Taj Mahal. A lot of people will put quartz in these projects in this price point, which that's made in a factory. There's just something about quartzite that just stands out. People love to see, hey, you spent the extra money on the countertops. It gives a better sense of quality. Another focus that I put that a lot of people kind of overlook, and I think it's such a huge staple through the entire home, are the light fixtures that you put in a property. It's an accent piece that gives the property some character. It gives it some flair. It really makes it stand out, not only in the photos, but when people come and view the property. They're just nice little accent pieces where they don't take away from the focus of everything else going on, but it's just pretty to the eye. So you'll see these match the dining room light fixture. They're the same color. I make sure that is done intentionally. And then you come through, instead of putting a basic fan up, I went and just put one that had a little bit cooler of a design. It's not that big of a difference, but in my opinion, it ties everything together in the photos. The photos are super important because that's what gets buyers into the property. If you don't have aesthetically pleasing photos, whether good quality photos or the light fixtures and everything don't kind of give a wow factor, you're not going to get all the showings into the property that you wish you would. The final piece of something I really focus on all my property is the detail work. And I left it the best for last because this one thing, and it seems like such a minor detail, everyone brings it up every single time I do a fix and flip. First off, the baseboards. Most fix and flippers, they will only caulk the top. We make sure the bottom so there's no gap between the flooring and the baseboards. I'm one of the only ones I see that do this. I've done this since the very beginning when I started 2 years ago. It makes everything look very clean. The second thing, and this sounds ridiculous, but it gets brought up almost every single time. If you look at every single screw on all of my outlets and light switches, they're all lined up constantly. It's those little details in a higher end market. Even though this is $1.7 million in a market where a lot of the homes sell for $4 to $5 million, they still have the same expectations of quality. A property like this, usually it's an older person that sold their 8,000 square foot house and they're downsizing to something smaller. They still expect that same quality. So even though it's a smaller price point, compared to the rest of the homes in the neighborhood, you still have to bring the same quality. And that's why I've been so successful in this market specifically, is not only do I pay attention to the details that everyone sees, I pay attention to the details that people commonly overlook, and it gives the buyers an extra confidence when they go to write an offer on my property. And I know I said I only share 5, but there's so many details in this property that I put into every property actually to get the maximum value. So I'm gonna take you through the rest of the house and show you some of the thought process. Over here, there was just a basic slider that you'd see in most homes in a window, and it kind of just obstructed the whole view of the golf course. A big reason why people would buy this property is it sits on the golf course. They love golf, they want to sit out here in the evenings and just enjoy the view. So what we did It was super simple because there was already a slider and a window right here. We just took both of them out and put this beautiful bifold door that opens all the way across. So you really get that sense of indoor-outdoor living. And we're going to go over to the master bathroom. On all our doors, I do these 3-panel doors. Most people put just a single panel in. They're solid instead of hollow. Just another minor detail that people do notice when they come into my properties. Again, interesting light fixtures that just stand out in photos. And then in here is the master bath. I always do a tile backsplash on the vanity. I always try to do a floating vanity. It just stands out and makes everything different. I did marble flooring in here, and then come check out the detail work in this bathroom, in the shower. We did this beautiful tile on the back. Everything lines up perfectly. The chevron tile on the bottom, and we also did a Taj Mahal quartzite dam on the top just to kind of tie the whole Taj Mahal back into the house. All the colors are the same color throughout the house. Everything's cohesive. When people come in, they're just like, wow, this almost feels like a spa when they come in with the level of quality work that we put. Just from the lines to everything being perfectly even. Every little detail counts when you're flipping in a zip code like this.